Christmas is a special time of year when families gather to celebrate Christ's birth. Let's listen in on one family as they decorate their tree in preparation for Christ's birth.
Hey kids, look what I found.
What's that, Dad?
It's our old box of ornaments for the Christmas tree.
Ooh, can I put them on the Christmas tree right now?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do it.
I think I'll put on some Christmas music. Joy to the World, one of my favorite songs. In fact, I know a story of how it was written.
Ooh, tell us the story where we put the ornaments on the tree.
Well, a long time ago, there was a young boy named Isaac Watts.
In the year 1674, the man known as Isaac Watts was born. He grew to be a deep-thinking and reflective young man. After one Sunday service, 15-year-old Isaac complained about the atrocious worship service to his father, the deacon.
What's the matter now, Isaac?
Nothing, I'm just so bored. The music is monstrous and the words just don't inspire me at all. I wish there was music that moved me. Why can't we have songs like that?
Listen, young man, if you're not satisfied with the way things are, then I challenge you to give us something better.
Isaac took that challenge to heart and went on to compose many of our great hymns, including We're Marching to Zion, When I Survey the Wondrous Cross, This is the Day the Lord Has Made, and of course, Joy to the World. In 1719, Watts composed a poem based on Psalm 98. The words he penned were given a tune, and the great Christmas hymn, Joy to the World, was brought to life.
Wow, Mom, that's an awesome story. It's cool to see people do exciting things like that.
Yeah, and to think of it, he was only 15 years old when he wrote his first song.
You know, while we're talking about our favorite Christmas songs, this star reminds me of one of my favorite Christmas songs, Silent Night. Have you guys ever heard that story?
No, I don't think so.
Well, would you like to hear a story of how it came to be written?
Yes!
Well, it goes like this.
25-year-old Joseph Moore was assigned to the position of assistant priest at St. Nicholas Church in Oberndorf, Austria. A lover of music since his boyhood in Salzburg, Moore was placed in charge of the music for the church. He also commonly wrote poems and song lyrics for special services. In 1818, Moore was making last-minute preparations for a special Christmas Eve Mass, a service he'd been planning for months. Everything from the message to the music was in place. But as he cleaned and readied the sanctuary, the priest encountered a dilemma. St. Nicholas's organ wouldn't play. A frantic Moore struggled with the old instrument for hours, making adjustments, fiddling with keys, stops, and pedals, even crawling behind the console to see if he could find a problem. In spite of his efforts, the organ remained silent. Realizing he could do nothing else, the priest prayed for inspiration. He asked God to show him a way to bring music to his congregation on this Christmas Eve. Two years before this, while on a winter's walk from his grandfather's home to the church, Moore had been inspired to write a poem. Digging in his desk, he found that poem titled Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht. Up until that moment, the verses hadn't seemed very important to the priest, but as he read them again, it was as if the Lord was sending him a message of hope. Excited by a new inspiration, he shoved the worn paper into his coat pocket and rushed out into the night to the home of Franz Gruber, a teacher, friend, and musician.
Franz, I need your help. The organ won't work at the church, and I need music for tonight's Christmas Eve service. Could you make music to these words that could be easily learned by the choir, and will perhaps play it for us as well?
Yeah, I can make music for this, yeah. If the organ's not working, we'll play it on guitar.
A few hours later, the two friends met at St. Nicholas. Gruber shared his new music with Moore. The priest approved and rushed it to the choir members. Just after midnight, Moore and Gruber stood in front of the main altar and sang their simple little song.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah, Christ the Savior is born, Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, thy birth, Jesus, Lord, at thy
Silent Night, Holy Night would be remembered not only that Christmas Eve, but over 200 years later around the world.
What a beautiful story for such a beautiful song.
Hey, I know a story about a Christmas song. My Sunday school teacher taught it to us last week. She said,
There once was an African-American choir director, and his name was John Wesley Works Jr. And he really, really liked the sound of the old spirituals. Well, he heard one day, and it really caught his ear. So he went home and he created a special music so that a choir could sing it in the early 1900s. It was the story of the angels coming to tell the shepherds about Jesus' birth way back in Bible times. The name of the song is Go Tell It on the Mountain. Why don't we all sing it together?
Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ was born. While shepherds up there watching, over silent flocks by night, there was on the
Another great Christmas hymn is Come Thou Long Expected Jesus, composed by Charles Wesley in 1744. When Wesley wrote this hymn, he was living in England. He was surrounded by scenes of homelessness, orphans, and squalid poverty. He penned a work that expressed dear hope for Christ to come again and set all things right. Thus the opening words to this hymn, Come Thou Long Expected Jesus.
Well, I must say, there are a lot of wonderful Christmas hymns with interesting stories.
Yes, there are. I know another one that Grandpa shared with me when I was a little boy, and it goes like this.
Legend has it that during the Franco-Prussian War on Christmas Eve, 1871, in the midst of fierce fighting between the armies of Germany and France, French soldier suddenly jumped out of his muddy trench. Both sides stared at the seemingly crazy man. Boldly standing with no weapon in his hands or at his side, he lifted his eyes to the heavens and sang,
"O holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appears and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope The weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night, holy night, oh, night divine. Truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. Christ is the Lord, oh, praise his name forever. His power and glory evermore proclaim. His power and glory evermore proclaim.
After completing all 3 verses, a German infantryman climbed out of his hiding place and answered with Martin Luther's "From heaven above to earth I come."
From heaven above to earth I come, to bear good news to every home. Glad tidings of great joy I bring, whereof I now will say and sing. To you this night is born a child of Mary, chosen mother mild. This little child of lowly birth shall be the joy of all the earth.
The story goes that the fighting stopped for the next 24 hours, while the men on both sides observed a temporary peace in honor of Christmas Day.
Wow, what a blessing Christmas music is. Let's sing Hark the Herald Angels Sing.
Songs about Christmas bring the birth of Christ to life. Let us treasure the times that we sing them in church. Each Christmas hymn we sing has a special history or story that belongs to it.